Hey, good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. So, we have a jam-packed Saturday in store for us again with lots of cool things to talk about, and we have story time again since I know a lot of people like to hear my crazy stories from my crazy life. So, yeah, I had a pretty cool meditation last night, so I will get into my awesome meditation that I had last night, my crazy wake up call at 4:30 this morning from Spirit, and all the downloads that I got at 4:30 this morning, as in spiritual downloads. I was not on the internet at 4:30 in the morning. Bella's here! Hey! Actually, Bella was the first person I texted once I was kind of like up and about this morning about all the craziness from yesterday, and I said that I would go into more detail about it today. Um, and then I just want to show you, Bella says, hello, yes, it was a crazy day and night. Missy's here. What up, Missy? And I have a few stones that I picked up yesterday. I've already done a like crystal haul video, but you guys won't see it until Wednesday. And then I filmed a couple other videos yesterday as well, but you guys won't see that until next week, since now I'm like I have videos like that are out like scheduled. Whereas usually I'm just like, I have one ahead, like one scheduled for the next day. But I am way ahead. I have like a lot of videos. Missy is just relaxing. Awesome. New Age Lunatic is here. What up, girl? My homie. Um, but yeah, so lots of stuff, and I want to talk about oh, Kayla's here. What up, Kayla? Happy Saturday. My Furba that I got yesterday, not a Furby, a Furba. It's a particular type of Tibetan dagger. And yeah, I will definitely get into that, but it's going to stay in its box. I'm not going to put it on my altar. Um, and I'm kind of wondering if I should put the box in something, because never have I encountered something where the energy was just like so strong. What up, Green Owl? That like it's totally like changing my own energy. I'm like, whoa, like what? This thing's got some crazy energy, not like bad, but just powerful energy, like a powerfully light, like bright, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's going to stay in its box until I need it. Yes, it's the Wally necklace. You guys notice I'm all crazy cat lady today. I got my Siamese cat earring. I got my Siamese necklace. I got my kitten shirt. I'm all kittens, weights, and tarot today. And then I want to talk about a book that I got, and I think that's it. And then there was something else I wanted to talk about with you guys, but yeah, so that is the lineup for today. I'm going to take me a shippy of water, and maybe let's jump into the book first, and then we'll go crystals and maybe story time. Yes, we definitely need to do story time. Bella says, OMG, I know it was going to be seem with our night. Yeah, it was crazy night. Bella said she also had a crazy night and early morning. Anybody else sleep weird last night? I mean, I slept well until about 4:30 in the morning, and then I was kind of woken up by my spirit guides, and like I got all this like crazy information. But anybody else have a weird night? Missy said yes. She also had a weird night. Interesting. I don't think astrologically there was anything funky last night. I think the moon was in Leo. Oh no, Capricorn last night. Green Owl says Friday night she was woken up at 4:44. Hmm, very interesting. Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff going on. New Age Lunatic said, "OMG, yes, I had the most strange and crazy dream." Yeah, I was having some really weird dreams. Yeah, we'll have to get into that, and I want to hear your guys's like what what's going on, like energetically something in the air, I guess, right now. Well, I don't know. One of my dreams was I only remember part of the dream, um, but we were at my grandmother, like my mom's mom, used to own a deli in Chula Vista. And New Age Lunatic says it was intense and she woke up in an actual sweat. So did I. Bella said mine started yesterday afternoon during meditation, then it got even more nuts. Yeah, so since meditation last night, I was like, but my dream last night was, it took place at my grandmother's old deli. I mean, it's not there anymore, it's something else. But my dude and I were there, and then something happened where I just got miffed, and I was like, well, fine, I'm just going home. And I was like being a brat in my dream. But I left my purse and my cell phone and everything, but I decided I didn't even care. And I just left it there. And I walked home, but home, all of a sudden, Spring Valley was like a block away, which is not the case. Chula Vista is not that close to Spring Valley, or at least our house. And so then I get there and people are like working on their cars in front of my house, and it's like hard for me to get into my driveway, which probably represents the people across the street because they have literally 12 cars and I think like 4 generations living in their home, and they like take up all the parking on this street. Anyway, and I turned around and there was a guy that was stealing out of my truck, out of my garage. You know, he had backed his car somehow into my garage and I didn't even see it. And he was like stealing from the inside of my truck. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And I'm trying to hurt him and I can't hurt him, you know, and he's just laughing. And he's like, oh, you gonna cry about it? And it's making me more pissed. And I was like, dude, I will kill you. I will cut you. And so then I start trying to like fall back on like what I learned from Kung Fu. So I go into like, well, one of them's like a paw like this, and I'm like trying to get him in the throat. But he's just like made of pillows, and I am, he's here, what's up? And it's like and I can't hurt him. So then I grabbed, a gardening hoe, and I'm like trying to hit him. And then I try stabbing him. And then I stabbed him all the way through, and he's just laughing. And he's like, you can't kill me. And I was just like, what? And then I woke up from this crazy dream. I'm like, what the deuce did I eat last night? Let's see, I had a Ruby burger, but it really wasn't that good. Maybe it was the Ruby burger. Anyway. Still some intense energies going on, actually. But I've been attributing it to the Furba that I bought. But I don't know, since you guys are also feeling like some energies that are really intense going on, maybe it's not possibly just the Furba that I bought. Okay, and I've been having to drink mass amounts of water because it's the only thing that keeps my head from spinning. Anywho, wanted to talk about some crystals. And by the way, don't forget, I make some lovely crystal bracelets that are on my shop if you are interested. One of the crystals I got was the IME says OMG. We're talking about dreams. I had a dream last night that included a large dog-sized pet spider who ate garland. Oh, I think we all had some crazy dreams last night. Pixie Dust is here. What's up? Looks like we were all on some weird astral plane where we're all just tripping out on some dreams last night. But yesterday I went to South American Import Shop in Old Town San Diego, which is probably my favorite crystal shop anywhere. IME says yes. Crazy dreams, man. New Age Lunatic said Sandman got a lot to answer for. I was pulling the sand out of my eyes this morning. Let me tell you, I was like, what just happened? But yeah, I picked up Bumblebee Jasper, and I've been really attached to bee energy lately. Usually I'm one who dodges bees. I see bees, I'm like, oh, hit the deck, you know? I don't want to get stung. I mean, I've only been stung once, and it was like by accident. I mean, and it's not like bees were coming out to like come sting me. I don't know, like when I'm watering and we have all these blooms on our avocado trees, and on our tree in the front yard is like just buzzing with bees. I'll be watering and I'll literally have a bee that's like this close to my face, and I'm just so fascinated watching it pick up the pollen and all this stuff. Pixida says, I just saged all 23 of her decks and her sacred space and herself and her dog, and now she feels some good vibes and she's happy. Trust me, I've been doing a lot of saging of this house, and it's not there's anything negative, it's just there's just a lot of energy. um, but anyway, so I'm been feeling like connection with bee energy. And so then when I was at the crystal shop and I saw these lovely pieces of bumblebee jasper, I was like, I need to get that. And one of my animal runes that I keep pulling for myself is the bee. And the word on there says sexuality, and I'm like, I don't really understand the message. And then yesterday I was watering and a bee came out of the tree and was literally just hovering and buzzing in front of my face. And I was like, dude, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you doing? I'm not a flower. What's going on? And it just kind of like was dodging me, but like just stood there, buzzed there, and then went back up into the tree. And I was just like, hmm. So I don't know. I haven't quite caught B's message yet, although just the message that I feel like I need to tap into it and that I should maybe, meditate with it and kind of feel B energy. Oh, and then when I was in Old Town yesterday as well, before I leave Old Town, I always visit the Campo Santo Cemetery, which is like the original cemetery for San Diego, because Old Town San Diego is the original, like, whatever town for Old Town, or well, what was then New Town, but now it's Old Town. Green Owl said maybe try some pollen. I could do that too. But there was this big tree at the back of the cemetery, and I heard all this buzzing, and I realized that in the knot in the tree there was a beehive in there, and it was just like hundreds of bees, and I could see the path where the bees were coming in, and I kind of like dodged their path, but like instead of running away from a beehive, I went towards the knot in the tree, and I was just kind of watching them, and they didn't care. They didn't see me as a threat or anything to their hive, which I don't know, maybe some of you guys think that's like really dumb, like to go that close to bees, but I felt like they wouldn't hurt me, that they would just allow me to observe them. So I observed them, and I was like thinking all these things of like, honey and protection, and, protecting your sweetness, protecting that what you've worked hard for. Like I was kind of getting those messages. So I'm wondering if that's the entirety of the message that bee has for me, but I don't know. So anyway, just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. Green Owl said, like Winnie the Pooh, beehive in the tree. Yes! Just like Winnie the Pooh. Anyway, so I picked up this beautiful chrysocolla egg, and I've been all into egg energy lately, and chrysocolla is probably one of my favorite stones. Missy said, I need to sage my house, need to get the negativity out of it and get more positivity in here. Lost her job because her boss was lying about a lot of things. Long story, but trying to stay positive. Well, I'm really sorry to hear that, Missy. Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes things just really suck, and there's no real explanation for them. But who knows, maybe that was a negative workplace that you had to leave, and so maybe it was just helping you to open doors to some new things. I know that way back in it was like the mid 2000s somewhere, I was working at this really really crappy high school, and a fellow teacher and I were you're welcome. Fellow teacher and I were talking about our PTSD that we've gotten from this school, because anytime we pass there we're like and I don't know, I wanted to leave so bad, but that I knew there was nowhere to go. I'm like, I was such a new teacher at the time, it's like I couldn't just like hop to a new school, and I was like, oh. And then all of a sudden these layoffs happened and they laid me off, and I was so happy. It was a really weird thing. I was like, yes, I got laid off. woohoo! But then I was like, oh wait, I'm jobless now. But that's okay because I have some talents. And that's when, I started like creating all these side businesses and all of that. And I was like, I'm really good at all these other things. And that's where I really got to like learn a lot of good things about myself. So I'm hoping that something like that happens for you too, Missy. And then, eventually, obviously, I got a teaching job after that. I got a couple of phone calls where they're like, hey, would you like to work at this school and this school? So I was commuting between two schools and it all worked out. So, but anyway, I'm sending you lots of good juju too. Um, I also picked up a couple of quartz crystals, and these were stuck in the back in the kind of sale section because nobody seemed to want them, but I did. And one of them is this beautiful quartz. And to me, it feels like you would hold it like this and like scan because you can kind of see through it just a little bit. So it's like, to me, like a little scanner. Missy says, I'm happy that I don't have to deal with all that negative stuff and I'm filling out applications and trying. Well, very good. See? Now you don't have to deal with all that BS anymore. um, so yeah, so I got this little thingy, and then this to me kind of looked like like a computer mouse. Um, this is kind of unusual because it looks like there's a crystal in a crystal. Hey, Debbie's here. What up, Deb? Yeah, it's got all this like cool stuff inside. So I don't know. I found it unusual, and I was like, I'll take it. Nobody else is taking it. I'll take it. Let's see what else I got down here. Right now, they're all charging on my. Have a window pane selenite that they're charging on. Speaking of selenite, also got this little selenite ball. And to me, when you look inside, it's almost like there's a little spirit in there. So I was like, ooh, that's kind of neat. Angel says maybe the crystal was just waiting there for you. Perhaps, perhaps. I was like, what's there way in the back? Iami says, love unique stones like that. I mean, yeah, it's not like perfectly pretty, but I like stones for their imperfections. I think that's what makes them really pretty. I also got this little piece of amber, and this was $4. So it was pretty cheap. Those other stones I actually got for free because I made a bigger purchase, and so the owner's son, the owner and the owner's son are always really good about cutting deals. Like if you make a bigger purchase, then you get all these other stones for free, and I'm like, yes. But I still had to pay for this one, so this was like the other like $4 stone, but it's got like stuff inside, which is pretty neat, and I love amber. And then I got some Orgonite, but I've never worked with Orgonite before, and I wasn't sure how I felt about it just because I don't know, there's like all these like mixed reviews. People are like, oh, some people are like, oh, it works really well and it's awesome. Other people are like, it does nothing for me. I think it's all like in your head. So I was like, I'm gonna find out for myself. So I was really drawn to this beautiful necklace. And I was really drawn to that infinity symbol, same kind of symbol that made me think of my birth card, which is the strength card. That there's strength in things being infinite, that our souls are infinite. Love is infinite. And then on the back, I love the spiral, which makes me think of like feminine energy, moon energy. And I was like, So yeah, I ended up getting this lovely Orgonite pendant. And that is charging on the selenite pad as well. And then, okay, let me show you the big purchase, my dude that I got, who is on my altar actually. Now I'm not a hugely into skulls, but I felt the need to get a skull while I was there, and I was like, which was unusual. I mean, I have two little skulls, but it's not like I'm like a huge skull collector. So I saw this crystal skull, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, like a clear quartz skull. And then the owner's son was like, well, hey, do you want to go in the back? And sometimes I go in the back to look at their other stuff that's not out and about. And he was like, we have some other skulls back there. And I was drawn to two particular skulls, but one of them was just like chatty, chatty, chatty. And I'm like, it's like I was hearing spirit, but it was coming from this skull, and which was kind of interesting. And so here he is. Bella says, I'll show you mine later. I love working with skulls. Well, I mean, I love his eyes. He just seems so sweet. Um, New Age lunatic giving me props over there. Angel says, that is good when the store owner shows you the back stuff. Yes, and where the little sign says private, but I get to be back there and it's like, ah. Angel says, the skull is nice, by the way. Yes. I mean, the eyes just seem like kind, if skulls can have eyes that look kind. I mean, he's an agate, but check this out. He's druzy back there. I was like, whoa. And so when I was holding him and I was holding the other skull, I was like, whoa, it was getting kind of dizzy. And they were expensive, so I didn't want to drop them. So I can't afford to get dizzy and drop these skulls. So I put them back up on the shelves. And I was like, kind of then just holding the tops of their heads, and I was like, okay, well, what does your energy feel like? And what does your energy feel like? And so the other one, although also very, yeah, dude is right, also very powerful energy, this one was a lot more chatty and more aligned with what I want to work on right now, which is healing. And so right away he said, my name's Edward. And he was like, da 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 da. I didn't catch half of what he said. And he was like, he goes, you want to learn how to heal? Like, he says, I'll help you with the healing process. Like, no problem. And he was like really sweet about it, but he was like really talkative. And I was like, well, don't be all talkative in the store. And then we get home and it's like radio silence. But yeah, he has not gone radio silence. Two of owls. Oh my gosh. What up, my homie? So yes, this is my new skull dude. This is Edward. And he's going to be helping with me on my healing journey. He says, yo, sister from another mister. What am I, brother from another mother? So yeah, I'm really happy to have Edward. And oh my gosh, like his energy is intense, by the way. So I'm going to put him down because I am getting dizzy again. I'm talking about these crazy dizzy energies. Edward even sparkles. Nice TV show reference. Yes, so yes, he sparkles. Okay, so Edward's going back up there because Edward's making me a little dizzy. Okay. Well then, I guess I will show you the piece de resistance. My furba. And so it's in this box. And the energy is intense. It's not bad in any way, just intense. And when I saw it in the store, okay, let me give you some background since you guys like a story. I left the crystal shop and my intention was to walk into down into like the old plaza in Old Town, like where all the original shops are and stuff. And so I'm walking down there and I want to go to the mining company because sometimes they have some pretty stones, but theirs are like a lot more expensive and more touristy, whereas South American imports is like kind of tucked away and you kind of have to know that it's there, and you get really crazy deals on stuff. So I'll usually go there, but then sometimes the mining company will have just like big chunks of quartz that they're just blowing out for like $10 and $20 sometimes. So I was like, well, maybe I'll go check it out. But then I stopped off at the gum sand first, spelled Gum and then Saan, so the gum sand. And it has a lot of Nepalese and Tibetan products. And there's a young gentleman that owns the shop, and he's the one that takes these trips out to the Himalayas, and he, brings these things back. Tuaval says, I got your live going, and Sylvan SO playing on the Bluetooth snow falling outside. My day is hella good. Hey! Well, we have, let's see. What's our weather right now? It's about 70 degrees outside, but it's going to be a nice hot day. It's beautiful out there. I'm chatting with you homies. It's a good day too. So anyway, I'm I walk into the gum stand and I was like, oh, hey, I saw some gifts for my dad because his birthday was on April 5th. My dad turned 78, and I saw this cool little like dragon like carving, and my dad was born in the year of the dragon, 1940. So I was like, sweet. So I get that. Sean said, yay, I'm expecting snow in a couple of days. Man, you guys are where it's cold. Angel says, we got some snow here as well. No biggie, a dusting, but temperature dropping. Ooh. Our temperature is rising. um, and and then I picked up like a cool Tibetan mask. It's like supposed to be kind of a scary mask. It's meant to ward away like evil spirits and mischievous spirits. And I knew that was right up my dad's alley, because they have, that's kind of like the decor of his home. And so I was like, okay, so I'm going up to the register, and I passed by one of the glass cases, and I was like, like I felt something weird, so I like back it up, and I'm kind of looking in the case and trying to find what it is that I'm being drawn to, and I see this badass dagger, and I was like, whoa. So I asked the shop owner, I was like, can I see that? And he's like, oh, it's called a FERPA, and I was like, oh, okay. As a mischievous spirit, I resent that. Oh. Well then, Sean, I guess you're just not welcome in my dad's home. um, and so he pulls it out. It's crazy expensive. And I was like, I don't know. I'm just like holding this thing. And I was like, and like, I don't know. My energy was like shifting. I started sweating. I started like getting really dizzy. I had to hold on to the glass case. The guy is like telling me about, he only brought one of these back. I mean, he had other like smaller types of FERPAs, and like one made of, well, not real bone, but supposed to be resembling bone, and one made of just crystal and like quartz. And I was like, no, like this one, of course, it's like the most expensive one. And I've never really spent money like that on one item, like that. I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, I'll throw in those other things for free if you get that. And I was like, yeah, but it's kind of expensive. And all of a sudden, my guide that I've been working with as of late, this female energy, pops in, and she's like, money can always be replaced. And she says, if you're worrying about money, don't worry about money. She goes, we got it handled. And I was like, uh, okay. And I was like, this sounds like totally crazy. I was like, but I think I'm going to get this. I think I need to get this. And then the thing started heating up in my hands to the point where it was too hot to handle, and I had to put it down. And I'm kind of relaying this to the guy without scaring the other tourists that are like wandering the shop. And then there was this girl or lady or woman behind me, and she starts laughing. She goes, well, sometimes objects will do that. And I was like, yeah, it's really hot. And I'm like fanning myself with like my credit card. I'm like, oh my God, it's hot in here. Either I'm burning up because I'm spending a large amount of cash, or I'm burning up because this thing's freaking awesome. And he said, no, it really is intense. And they consider the mountain that it came from, because the Sherpa takes you up there, and they, they perform, the shamans perform the rituals up there, and they consider it being super close to the heavens. So, and their piece, they consider it like the eye of God. And so it's like, it's meant to drive energy down into the earth and to balance energies. And what he was talking about was what I was doing when I did that crazy house clearing, and I had no idea what I was doing. Like, it sounded, what he was saying, what the shamans do, was what I was doing. And I was like, some synchronicity here. So I went ahead and got it. Sean said, yeah, there's an intense energy going on up there. Yeah. Everybody's been, everybody on here has been talking about some crazy energy. So I will take it out briefly, because it's intense, you guys. And I want to be able to like continue my live chat without fainting, because that would be just awesome. Okay, so in the case, it looks like this. And let me take it out for you guys.